Alright, so today I watched the season finale of season 6, and I'm just going to talk about season 6 as a whole and what I thought of it. And it's definitely the most consistent season in terms of quality, I'd say, probably since season 3, but unfortunately, it does peak at the season opener. The season opener is definitely, for me, it's the only real highlight of the season. The rest of them, well, not none of them are bad. I'd say they none of them particularly stand out that much, and I'd say, and even with that, I'd still say the first half of the season is stronger than the second half of the season, to be honest. And if I was to give if I was to say anything about season 6, is that the sort of marketing behind it and what was said by, the writers and that about it was kind of bullshit. In the fact that, this is going to change Rick and Morty and that the finale of season 5, and it doesn't really. I mean, they are without portal technology for the first half of the season, or the first 6 episodes of the season. But yeah, and then they don't really do anything much with it, with that premise. There's no, time where that becomes, an inconvenient thing to them, because before, it's then resolved before long. And there's literally, there's zero struggle with it. Just got the end of episode 6 with the dinosaurs. There you go, it's fixed. And I cannot remember a single, apart from Tales of the Citadel, I cannot remember any Rick and Morty episode names, because they're all bloody stupid. And even Tales of the Citadel, its official name, I literally can't remember it, and everyone else just calls it Tales from the Citadel. But anyway, yeah, it just seems like a lot of wasted potential here, because, you know, I, the promise was that they were going to sort of dip their tools into, more serialization stuff. There was still going to be, the standalone and that episodes and that, but what I was really hoping for is that they go more into. I felt with Evil Morty, basically he was just completely, wasted. I mean, we got arguably 3 proper episodes with him, sort of, and then he's just gone, and that, and it doesn't seem like they're ever going to follow that up. They might do, I don't know, but yeah, the whole hook of this season was Rick Prime, and, I thought that maybe, if he doesn't appear again in the season, I thought, he'd place some sort of part in that with our Rick, trying to search him. And it feels like what they do in the finale, spoiler alerts, but in the finale it's revealed that because of the events of last episode, Rick decided that he was going to replace himself with a robot duplicate that was 20% more caring or whatever, and he was going to concentrate all his time again on looking for Rick Prime. And it just kind of feels like it was something shoved in at the last minute. It really does feel like a last minute thing, because the majority of the episode kind of basically just feels like a retread of the season 3 finale, which was Rick versus the President. This is just, for the most part, this is just like a Star Warsy and also technically Christmas special edition of that. And that's all it kind of was. It wasn't bad. It wasn't bad. And, if it was just a regular run-of-the-mill episode, I would have thought, yeah, it was pretty decent. But it wasn't. And basically, the end bits, the ending, this episode and of this season is basically just like, oh, no, wait for season 7. Season 7 is where it's all going to change, and we're finally going to pursue, the Rick Prime story, but we'll still do regular, and literally Rick says, oh, we'll still do, regular episodes, but come back, and I don't know, because that was meant to be what season 6 was. Season 6 was meant to have, like, the ongoing story and have regular episode splicing, so I was thinking maybe, the opening episode, and then maybe the mid-season finale, and then maybe the last 2 episodes would be, story arc type of stuff, about 60-40. But no, and it's obvious that the writers and the creators are just so reluctant to do this, but they kind of feel like they just have to, but they never follow through on it. And it just feels like, just a massive sort of tease the whole way through. It's just like, oh, you didn't get what you wanted from this season, don't worry, wait for the next season and then we'll give it to you. I mean, we waited years for anything to be properly done with Evil Morty, and that, particularly after Tales of the Citadel. And then in season 5, we finally, got it. And then, he's just gone before we even got to know him. What did we really learn about Evil Morty? Nothing. We didn't really learn anything about him other than he just wanted to escape, all the Ricks, basically. That's all we learnt about him. And that he wasn't really much of a character. There was the essence of a good character in there, but other than that, no. And I've got a feeling that Rick Prime is going to turn out in the same way, where he's just going to maybe have the odd tease here over the next season or 2, and then when we finally do, confront him, whether that'll be next season or season 8, or whether they drag this all the way up until season 10, and then it's just going to be one shot done, there you go. It's just like, if you're going to do that, it's just like, why bother? If you're going to, put the essence of like a story arc or an ongoing story, in the background happening, then you've got to commit to it. You've got to actually, dedicate time to it. But Rick and Morty really isn't doing that. So, yeah, it's kind of constantly fighting with itself the whole time. I will say, though, in terms of character development, this season does a pretty decent job, particularly with Jerry. Jerry finally, gets a lot more character development and gets more confident and that. So I will say it does do Jerry some justice. And also Space Beth as well, who, weirdly, apart from a brief, cameo, where I think she was completely silent during season 5, here, she's in a few of the episodes proper, but a few of them, she might even get just a brief appearance. I mean, I would class this in this episode as just like kind of a brief, she's there kind of thing, but it felt more like she was actually there. So I'm glad that, more stuff was done with that, and that wasn't just another thing that just kind of, got forgotten about and ignored, that she did do stuff with it. But, yeah, it's weird, because I think in terms of quality as a whole, I would say this is better than season 5 and season 4 in terms of all. But seasons 4 and 5, particularly season 5's, 3-part finale technically, that had much higher highs than season 6 did. With it, again, the exception of the opening episode, it felt like with the finale, of season 5, and that they had this big plan, and that with the opening episode of season 6, and then it kind of sort of fizzled off from there, and they didn't really know what to do with it, and they just said, oh, just quickly reverse it, everything's back to normal, and it's just business as usual. And yeah, that was something I was worried about. And they did kind of just do it. It was just all kind of resolved too quickly. And in some cases I get that was the point, but just like, there's only so many times because like, you thought we were going to do the thing, well, we don't want to do the thing, that's stupid. It's like only so many times you can do that where it's just like, it's not the big surprise anymore, it's just the thing that is expected of it. So, yeah, it's just an irritation, at the end of the day. And I hope, I hope that they try to commit to it a bit more in season 7. I will say, we're kind of getting that. Like the first half of the season, I thought, okay, quality's up overall a bit. There was no episodes that I, just thought were awful. In fact, I never really do, but yeah, let's see. Hopefully, season 7, but I'm not holding out much hope. I'm not holding out much hope on this. I mean, I hope they go back. To be honest, I hope they go back to the old style of, if you're not going to do the overarching arc thing, then at least, if you're going to do any kind of arc, then have it be a two-part finale or even a 3-part kind of finale type thing. Because to be honest, like this episode or this season and that, just kind of felt like it kind of forgot about its overarching plot. Like about halfway through a lot of the time, I just seemed to forget about it almost instantly. But yeah, it's still decent. It's still good. I will still probably get the Blu-ray when it comes out, but overall, as a whole, from what was promised and what we actually got wasn't bad, but it was, for the most part, was just nothing exceptional either. It was just kind of run on auto, basically. So, yeah.